pretty much from the Panaheva stretch, Shipment Industrial Park to Honolulu Bridge and everything in between. Of course, Panaheva, Keaukaha, Pi'ihonua, commercial properties, Waikea, we got all kinds of DHHL lands within my senatorial district, and I represent you in the Hawaii State Senate. Sue?
Aloha, everyone. My name is Sue Liloy. I am the council representative for District 3, which includes Keaukaha, Panaheva, Waikea House Lots, Waikeuka, all the way out to Shipment. So I basically share about half of Senator Kahele's district on the county council. I'm very proud to be a homesteader myself, along with representing the 2 homestead communities in Keaukaha, Panaheva. Real quick housekeeping. One of my staff members, Peter Stir, he's going around. He's going to be asking for you folks to put in some information, contact information. Yep. So Senator Kahele, myself, and Representative Joyce Buenaventura can share that information. And mahalo nui to Kumubelo for this facility tonight, and all the food shared between myself and Senator Kahele. Thank you. So please help yourself to it.
Joyce Buenaventura, State Representative for Lower Puna, Maku'u House. Maku'u is my area. You folks, the people who know me know that my district has been inundated with lava. And I appreciate Senator Kahele, Councilwoman Liloy for putting this on. I'm here to listen, to learn what's going on. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ishibashi.
Commissioner Ishibashi. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Senator. And appreciate if we get, because there's so much of us, we can just focus our discussion on one topic, only repeat the next association 1 hour. Just stay on point, but give everybody a chance to share. We want to listen to everything. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, there's a couple of things we're going to do right off the beginning, take us to right about maybe a little after 7 o'clock. And then from that point, it's a kuka. It's a time to talk, open up the mic, and talk about different concerns people have, whether it directly applies to you or indirectly, or you want to discuss it. So when we get to that point, we'll bring that up. But like Councilman Liloy said, mahalo kumubelo for always offering up this space for us. Mahalo, really appreciate it. Uncle Pat, Keaukaha Community Association, mahalo nui loa for always doing what you guys do. And I know we have other associations here too. So Panaheva, anybody here from Panaheva Association? Raise your hand.
Raleigh.
Mahalo. Pi'ihonua. Anybody with the Pi'ihonua Association? What about, and I see our ohana from Waimea. We got people from Waimea that came. Mahalo. Thank you for coming from Waimea. What about Laiopua? Anybody from the Kona side? Took the time to come over? Okay. We very well may end up doing these in Waimea, in Kona, right? It's not just enough to do them in East Hawaii. So, but we got to start somewhere, right? But I would definitely love to do this in Waimea and in Kona, because I know geographically people got to drive on a Monday night, they got to work, so I can almost guarantee Anti-Max that could happen, yeah. You know, one of the things I see, and I'm very excited about it, is I see our keiki here, yeah? I see our keiki here, and whether you're kupuna or you're keiki, or you're kind of right in the middle, there's a lot of history to Hawaiian homelands. And I think it's important that we, as your area legislators and your commissioner, not assume that everybody is on the same page as far as the historical history of Hawaiian homelands and why some of us are here tonight. And I think it's important for the keiki that are here, even if they take a little bit out of what they hear or see, that they learn a little bit, because that really is the future generation, right? Just like my dad would hand off, you know, the ihe to me, I'm going to hand them off to somebody else. And I hope all of us here are educating the next generation so that they can continue, not necessarily to fight, but they can continue, you know, holomua, moving forward to move our people forward. So what I want to do is I want to show a 26-minute documentary called Broken Promises. This was done by several individuals in the House. Representative Gene Ward, who is a Republican, worked on this, worked on it for about 17 months. I think it's pretty good. And I think it will give everyone in the room, depending on your knowledge capacity of Hawaiian homelands, the framework for us to transition into the next hour and a half of tonight, which is the Keaukaha piece. Yeah, so we're just gonna run them, play them, go bathroom if you gotta go bathroom, grab food if you're hungry, you know, no shame. 100%, 50% Native Hawaiian, 25% Native Hawaiian. In 10 generations, not going to have 50% Native Hawaiian. Not going to have 25% Native Hawaiians. That's a big issue. The 50%, the 25% successorship is a really big issue that needs to be addressed. The state legislature passed a law last year to strongly encourage the United States Congress to adopt the 1/32 blood quantum, 3%, for successorship. One day, those of you that have 50%, you're not going to be able to transfer. You're going to transfer to the 25%, cannot transfer again. That's a major problem. In order to make that change, it has to be with the United States Congress. Anything major to the act has to start there. Before we jump to the Q&A, I want to show you guys a document real quick. The state legislature appropriates funds to DHHL annually. How this works is DHHL sends a request to the governor in about a month and a half. The governor then puts together his executive budget of all his 18 state departments and transmits it to the legislature. The legislature then, through its House Finance and Ways and Means Committee, and particularly the chairs, work out the state's budget. Yeah, and this year coming up in 2019 is going to be a brand new budget. This is the 2018-2019 budget. DHHL got about $100 million total in the HASLA federal funding, state general funds, granted aid, special funds, and these are some of the numbers here. If you look at it, you have the operating, the CIP investment capital, and the administration operating. So if you look at this column here, just to break it down real simple, you have the class of funds under this table. A funds is the state general funds, A funds, that's like the big pot of everything. Then you got the B fund, that's a special fund. DHHL has like 5 or 6 different special funds. The Department of Hawaiian Homeland's Trust Fund, they all kind 5 or 6 different funds. The B fund is the trust fund, the special fund. Not the trust fund, but the pot of special funds. The N funds is federal funds, in particular the NAHASDA funding that comes in. Then you have C funds, which is basically your CIP. The T is the trust fund. That's the trust fund that comes in, and the N is the NAHASDA like I talked about. So if you look at the bottom operating, this is the current budget that passed the legislature. It funds 200 full-time positions at DHHL, that's statewide, and the legislature appropriated to DHHL about $25.1 million. That amount is the same amount the Governor Ige asked for in 2018. He didn't ask for any more or any less, and that's what the legislature gave DHHL for its operating, administration and operating support to help fund these 200 full-time positions, $25.1 million. It's still $3 million less than the Nelson case, where Judge Castanetti said, basically to keep the lights on at DHHL, it's $28 million. Just to keep the lights on, right? So it's a little bit less than that, it's 25.1. The CIP is a mix of NAHASDA, right, federal funding, and state CIP funds appropriated to HHL, and then also they appropriated $6.9 million for DHHL, but they appropriated to the Department of Agriculture. And then you have the operating funds, federal funds, and some other grant funds there as well. For those of you that are interested in the capital, so a total of about $100 million in the current fiscal budget was appropriated to DHHL. This is the breakdown of DHHL's CIP allocation. So if you look at here, you have plans, $1, design $49,000, construction $450,000, for a total funding of $500,000 to go for the plans, design, and construction for development of Kaumana subdivision lot. So you have Kaumana, you have Ka'u, Hanapepe, and these are basically 11 pages of the states of that 40 million or so of CIP that was allocated to DHHL this year. These are projects all over the state, from Ho'olehua and their water project, etc., etc. And if you guys didn't put your email down, I can email you this today. But basically, this is the CIP, so all the capital improvement projects that have been allocated, and then the other document that I can send you as well is the actual budget. So this is the budget worksheet for DHHL. You can see on this side what the executive budget request was, and then what the actual agreed to conference draft 1 Senate and House budget is. And those numbers I showed you pretty much mirror what is up here. Just so that we can be clear on what the state of Hawaii has allocated to DHHL for operations. You can see there's the 200 positions, the 25.1 million. You can see that the governor asked for 25 million and 200 positions, and the legislature agreed to exactly what the governor asked for. So he didn't, he or they didn't reduce the administration and operating support budget for DHHL, and then this is their planning and development for Hawaiian homestead. So pretty much the CIP, the construction, the construction one, special funds, end funds, federal, trust funds. Any questions on the money piece?
Revenue generated from Hawaiian Homes Airport.
Where is it generated?
Yeah, do we not have revenue generated from Hawaiian Homelands across the state? Where's that number? How much money do we generate every year?
I don't have that number. That's not part
That'd
of
be
it.
an interesting number to have up there along with everything that's allocated to us.
So that's a great question for next week, Monday night. But just as an example here in Hilo, where the Kanoilehu industrial lots are, there's DHHL leases all over there. Iona Car Sale, DHHL. KTA, not the KTA store, but KTA has a lease. Dave DeLu's Toyota. You need to look at that list. There's choke commercial leases. So wait, we're not going to go with questions yet. So that's the funding piece. As far as what the legislature appropriated to DHHL for positions, operation administration, and then to develop new housing projects in terms of what the legislature is putting in, state money, your taxpayer dollars, $25.1 million of general funds, in addition to federal NAHASDA funding, trust funds, special funds. Yeah? Okay.
The 25 million, although it was less than what Judge Castagneri said, it was still the most money that the state has ever given, because previously,
It was like 10 million.
yeah, previously it was, and even less.
Yeah.
It was shockingly underfunded. Okay, that's the reason why there was this huge need to catch up. So the question of how much the leases are is a huge component, because the underfunding, I'm assuming, because that was before he and I and Sue were in the legislature, that was what the previous politicians had assumed was funding DHHL. So we really need to know. Thank you.
The trust fund, the 3.7 million, is that the OHA money that's been every year allocated to DHHL from the Public Land Trust? More than that. Okay. Okay,
So
so
we're going to look at the total amount to operate the whole system and what we, from the department, request to the government, not what the government has to do.
Right.
Because we have over 300 million in order to have infrastructure
Right.
costs. There's some big, huge amount of money
Right.
shortfall.
in the 2014 annual budget that DHHL had requested to the governor at the time, Ige, the request was like $60 million in operation and administration. As you can see, it's about half of what DHHL is asking for, is what they're getting. Okay, so at this time, this is the Keaukaha. And we're going to bring the mic. You're welcome to come up and talk stories. Sue, myself, and Wally and Joy will come up here and we can have a discussion.
Shelly's gonna be taking notes.
Please take notes. I'm going to set one timer on my phone. You think 3 minutes is fair? The alarm gonna go off. You can talk for 20 more minutes. It's just other people not can talk. So 3 minutes, maybe wrap them up, or go half an hour. But 8:30, Kumubella says we like to help you out. So however way you guys like roll, it's fine. Who's first? Open mic. Yes, you can come up here. You can move along. Yeah. Right there, mic.
I don't really.
Before we start on that, I would highly encourage everybody to come out to next week Monday's meeting. I would also encourage you, if you can, to go to DHHL's commission meeting at Nani Loa Hotel. This is their revised schedule. For those of you that wasn't sure why the schedule was changed or whatnot. So, right here. Monday, 9:30, Nani Loa, Sandal Row. Tuesday, 9 o'clock, Sandal Row. Community meetings, Sunday, Kau. Monday, right back here. What I hope is this meeting and the conversation we're going to have, the questions you're going to ask, is a great precursor for the actual commission and the administration when they come here to talk to you guys. This is like a warm-up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Aloha everyone and mahalo. My name is Gene Tamashiro. I know many faces here. We are so grateful that we have an opportunity to come together with Aloha to clarify the truth, the law, our status individually, and I'll do my part, to achieve and to serve Akua's will. It's not about anybody's will, it's about Keaukaha's will. So I feel the most important thing in regards to land, in regards to anything in Hawaii, dealing with the county or the state, is to get right to the point of the law and the title. And as you saw in the beginning of the film, they clarified on several levels Hawaii's true political status. And the Hawaiian Kingdom, as everyone knows, has not ended. Many of us are in process to organize ourselves and provide services. So although the Department of Hawaiian Homelands with great aloha comes forward and would like to explore ways to problem solve, okay, I think we all need to welcome that, but we all need to remember, and this is the most important thing if you want to reclaim your destiny, is you have to clarify your status and the law. And Hawaiian Homelands in the state of Hawaii, with all due respect, I'm gonna say what you know, they cannot prove the Hawaiian Kingdom ended, they cannot prove they have a lawful title. Now I don't say this to attack anybody, because we were all born into this. So I feel like if we don't forget that true title is well established, our true status is well established. We have two organizations, OHA and Department of Hawaiian Homelands, that we need to be very creative and very lawful and pono how we use that asset. I don't think you build rental housing in Babylon is going to help anybody. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting possibilities that we are lawful in our own country. And I know a lot of people are afraid if they declare that, like some of us do and have, that they're going to lose benefits from, and they use it like a stick over their head, yeah? Don't worry about losing benefits. After 125 years of military occupation, the least we can do is sit at the table and make sure no one gets harmed. So as we untangle the truth and the law in a Pono Akamai way, don't surrender your truth, don't surrender your status, but we can make sure that nobody loses benefits in the relationship they have with the federal or state corporations. You want a de jure government. You want a real people's government. Hawaiian Kingdom is the only government in the world, and we're still organizing ourselves. It's the only government in the world that is not a corporation. I can prove it's a corporation because the state of Hawaii and Washington, D.C., they have Dun and Bradstreet numbers, okay? It's an investment opportunity. So that goes into something else all about voting. Don't worry about that. But remember our true status, okay? And hold yourself and each other accountable, and I will with the law. Okay, this right here, I'll finish up. This is hard copy. Now to move the law, you write down your claim. I wrote down my claim, and many people have done this. I've done this for 7 years. Hawaiian's been doing it for 30 years. Now when you write your claim down and you submit it respectfully to the governor, to the Attorney General, United States Attorney General, to Senator Keaukaha, you got your copy, okay? Now you're standing in honor, and you invite the person you hand it to, please respond or rebut the facts and evidence that I bring forward. This is how you peacefully come to conclusions. I apologize. Okay, listen, come to peaceful conclusions in the law. Don't surrender your unalienable rights, and we can untangle this hewa within the law and true aloha. Thank you so much.
Mahalo. You actually got about 6 there. I got them all. Clock is ticking. Where's TJ? TJ.
That's it. First of all, I just want to say that my name is TJ Forsyth. My mother is half Hawaiian. She's a Keaukaha Mohili. My grandmother is pure Hawaiian. Keaukaha Mohili. That's her blood, not married. Her father is Keaukaha Mohili, High Chief of Hilo. So, the question I have is, Homo'ola Pi'ionua, that is Crown Man. And how is it that people who have right of entries can just take whoever they like, and the people who actually have kuleana on that land cannot go? They're locking down that mountain right now, putting up gates. They spend $40,000 on blocks, brand new gates, digging trenches for keep who out. One of the guys that practice spiritual and cultural practices. That's the only guys going in there, you know? So, when I went down to Hawaiian Homes to actually apply for right of entry, I was told to write one paragraph where I go. But then I get other friends who go down and get one application. Why they get an application and I get only, I told to write one paragraph? I know why, because they're going to throw me under the rug. Okay? They let who they like on Hawaiian Homes. You know, the thing that gets me, that breaks my heart is forestry trails. They take tourists in there. They get combination and lock, take them inside. Private property, no trespassing, couple keep out. That is for me. That is for me right there. But yet I get kuleana on that land. I was born in Hilo. My grandmother took me on that mountain. My pico is up. Wayao. Now, not too many people know this, but I've been on that mountain since 1970. I was raised in Nana Valley. I'm a Hilo boy before I moved to the North Shore. But the whole problem I have is just with Hawaii's Home, letting who, like monitoring who they want on that mountain when it's our right to be on that mountain. And so, when I look at the Ainamana legacy, And for me, it's spiritual and cultural. How can you stop me from spiritual and cultural practices? I'm a minority. You're discriminating now against me. That's coming out. That's law today. We're not even talking kingdom anymore. You talk about spiritual practices. To just go on the mountain and pray. Everybody says, oh, you're in it for the hunting. What about watching the sunrise and watching the sunset? Unless you really experience that, for me, that's more than anything else. And they say, like, I'll close with this. Hawaiian Home says there's no hunting policy on that mountain. Well, King Kamehameha III in 1830 hired bullock hunters from Bulgaria to teach Hawaiian people to hunt, to use a gun, to shoot cattle. Why? Because it was dying using a spear. So he taught those guys to hunt. He lifted the ban off the cattle, the bullocks, and taught them how to hunt. Those people from Bulgaria. So when Hawaiian Home says there's no hunting policy, that's because they never create one hunting program, which is in the Ainawala legacy for them to create one hunting program. So with that, I get a whole lot of other stuff I gotta say, but I'll just close it there. Thank you.
The whole Ainawala hunting program is a major issue on this island, and that's something that I hope the commission and the administration is gonna address. I know I'm gonna address it as well.
My name is Scott Spencer. Believe it or not, the name Spencer is in that item, Mauna Legacy. For me, when I gotta go up to one Keala, and the Keala get one cable on them, and then the thing says kapu, and I'm with my son, for teach them the right way for do things. Because back in the day, we never had one gun. You know what I mean? We had one spear, leo mano, whatever you like call them, for go to battle. But how do us get one right of entry, being on Hawaiian? Everything get on cable, and I hate for, I understand you guys spend all the money on the locks, but Putin, when you go to the pad and you can go, then you gotta tell your son, hey, you know what, boy, we gotta turn around because they're saying that we can go. It breaks my heart, because that's all we get. Our kids is our future. Without our kids, we lost. We no more nothing for passed down. We only caregivers of this place, and once we pow, we pow. The only people gonna be around here is our keikis. So how do we get access to the Mauna? You know what I mean? I've been hunting that place, whatever you guys wanna call it. The white man call it hunting. For me, one Hawaiian, I can go gather. Yeah, I might not be the richest guy in the world, but sometimes when I'm struggling at home because I gotta pay the bills, when I go up the Mauna, it's cleansing my body, but not only that, I bring in Keaukaha for my children. So that's basically what I gotta say. It breaks my heart being on Hawaiian, and I look at one pad, and the thing tell me I no can go. So thank everybody for hearing me out. Aloha, you guys have a beautiful night, and stay blessed.
Hi. Aloha no. My name is Maxine Kaha'uliliu. I am from Waimea. Actually, I'm from Keaukaha. Born and raised on Oahu. In 1960, I applied for Hawaiian Homes. I never got my Hawaiian Homes till 40 years later. I'll be 80 on Friday. I'll be 80. Okay? I only get residential. I'm still waiting for my 5 acres. This is heaven. This is heaven. You know how many non-Hawaiians we have in Kamoela that's on Hawaiian Homes? We have. Right by me, leasing our land. We are strangers in our own land. Aren't you guys pissed off? You guys need to come up here and talk. I've been fighting Department of Hawaiian Homes from 1960. My kids are 80% Hawaiian. I married a Kaha'ulilio who's 80% Hawaiian. My father-in-law is pure Hawaiian. And no more, us no more lead. They no more lead. How come? Because they're leasing it to non-Hawaiians. That's what's wrong. You guys need to follow. Oh, come up here and speak. Cal Hawaiian Homes and all those guys are there, Hawaiian Homes. Okay, I'm going to stop. I want you guys to look at Kapolei. Just take Kapolei today. You know where Kapolei is, yeah? On Oahu. You know what that is? There's a shopping center, there's a hotel, there's all these shopping centers on Hawaiian homelands. Did you see where our people live? On 5,000 square feet of land. Where you can tell, can a cup, like a cup sugar? Right there, right out the window, right there. We want land to raise our pipi, land to put our horses on, the goats, the sheep, like brother said, we cannot have it. But the Hawaiian, that Haole lived next to me in Meolani, get 100 acres, and he get over 100 pipi. And he paid $1. Aren't you guys pissed off? They come up here and talk. Don't be scared. We Hawaiian. Kanaka ku'e. Come on, you guys. This gotta stop already. Kai gotta make this shit stop. Okay? We are in prison. Huh? Or we homeless. We're not homeless. We're not. We're houseless. That's what we are. We're houseless. We got land, millions of acres of land. How come we're not on it? You tell me how come we're not on it. Come on, you guys. Why you folks over here tonight? I gotta come from right there to talk. I'm hurt inside. 1980, and then animal land today. I don't want animal land. I get residential. John Waihe'e was lieutenant governor when he gave me my land in Waimanalo. I moved to Waimea. I applied for agriculture. In 2013, they killed my horse. They did. I went to the commissioner and I pleaded with them in 2013. You know what I did? I occupied the land. I went right on 5 acres and I put my horses there and I buried him there. And they put up no trespassing sign, Jim DuPont, for you, I'm gonna occupy that land, and I got it today. Not in my name, Wally, you gotta put them in my name. But I'm still there. I'm still there. Eminent domain is what you guys need to do. We are Kanaka. Okay. Who's the next speaker going to come up here and talk? 3 minutes, 125 years of suppression, genocide, and we get 3 minutes to talk. Okay, you want to talk now? Okay, right on. Come on.
One of the reasons why we're here tonight is because a week ago, about 7 of us met right there on our trust lands in Humula. And I realized, having that short conversation, and Auntie Max was there, Clarence Koo and others were there, that we needed to have this. So the fact that we went from last week to tonight in 7 days is a good start. Yeah? It's not just the beginning, like Auntie Max corrected me last week, right? It's got to end. That's why we're here tonight.
Kuligi ka himo kono kia ki kia bua, ano kuligi ka himo kono keapa, ano kei plani no mele ano kini, ohana no mai ukaili abang waipeo, no hao Keaukaha Kemanara. I went to school with his father. We used to play basketball together in intermediate. So I'm that old, but anyway, I'm here. My dad was on a whole 52 lifts with Sonny Kineo, and I was gone for a while, you know, in the States and all that stuff, and had to do my thing, and I came back, and then I worked for the LNR. And then, so I told my dad, yeah, let's use the number. Let's use your number today before you mark it. It was on an old San Nicanigo, so, and Joyce was at Waimea. So my dad really wanted to go back to Waimea because he getting old in Makuli. So finally we got our number, John, we was in Waimea. And we got 10 acres on lot number 35. I raised sheep, I used to raise PP and stuff like that. I've been a hunter all my life too. You know, I walk Manaki, like what I'm talking about. When the road was only way to Halipoaku, we used to walk all the way up to the Lake Waiao. From Halipoaku, we used to hunt and walk all the way up. Now I have road. I'm talking about this is like 1955, 53, 55. So long I've been on the mountain. I used to chase the sheep all over the mountain. Goat, sheep, all over the mountain, there's around all over the place, you know. So I know the kind of mountain, Manaki. And I was listening to Senator, and he was saying something about if you get the Hawaiian homes, if you get 50%, you pass it over to somebody, like I pass it over to my son, you got 25, it stops there, you see it, right? It doesn't go any further. Why? I mean, like the white people. I just thought that you could pass it on to your kids forever. But now I'm hearing something different. So like these people are concerned too, so that, you know when you build one house over there, you put all your energy, because when we first got our land up, Keaukaha, we got 10 acres. My son, my father and I, we would sleep over there overnight, and we put up the fence all ourselves. 10 acres. I mean, we made 4 paddocks. You know, at first I was raising all kinds of animals and stuff like that. Cows, horses, and everything. And then now I just raising HIPAA, because it's less maintenance. I mean, I had to haul water and all that stuff when I had PB and all this, different kind of animals. And and I live off the land. I've been hunting all my life. You know, that's what I live off. You know, smoke meat and all that stuff. So like what brother said, that's what us Kanakamonas live on. I mean, we gatherers, you know, I gather. You know, I still hunt, fish, and dive right now. Even if I'm all bust up, but the thing is just to hold them out, just to carry on. And I like what the brothers doing up in Monarchy right now. You know, they got the holly up there. I mean, the Kanaka Rangers. You know, I backed them up, but now they say they got to remove that holly over there. Why? I don't know why. But I just got the news. So it's like, here we go again. I mean, whatever we do, they're trying to put all these roadblocks on us. I mean, so we just gotta only choke safe.
Holla.
My name is Keaukaha. On behalf of the Beneficiary Trust Council, Moko Keaukaha, waitlisters. As I stand here before you guys, just like all one of you guys, we lost our parents. I lost my mom. I lost my grandparent. My dad guys are ready to go. My issue is the 100 years of the illegality. So I get excited when I see the department here, yeah? Like I just get excited because the trustees are in gross violations, criminal violations, yeah? And that's the truth. You heard it, they did a presentation. I don't have to backpedal on that, but that's why I'm here tonight. I'm here because of all the threats. I'm here because of discrimination. I'm here because of the gross neglect, and it's 100 years. So I'm looking for a word. What is that word? I think it qualifies for some type of genocide. Yeah? Wait us out. sign the documents, play the play, right? Do the dance, and wait and don't get no call back. So as I live my last whatever days I got my kids, I got my grandparents left, and so all I can just think about is how the trustees are just acting out like little infants. Yeah? They're acting out like little infants. They're trying to punish us as if I'm the keiki, which I'm not. And these things just get me fired up as I suck on this butterscotch, man. So, my solution for this is fire all the trustees, right down the line, fire all the trustees, cease all homesteads to non-beneficiaries and commercials, right? And don't forget to Idaho Pula, all the 44,000 that's been waiting, yeah? Those people need to be on. I don't know how you guys gonna divide them up, but I know we get enough for South Moko, Keaukaha, and maybe that's a great place to start, yeah? Because as you guys can see, you guys have failed, yeah? And I like how he fulfill the act, yeah? Honor the legacy, fulfill the act. I don't know what's so hard when all these trustees running around and doing their own gigs. They're doing their own gigs. They're doing their own deals. Look at all the leases. Follow the trail. It's not one broken trust. I don't know what you call that. You know what I mean? So you just drives me crazy when you guys talk about broken trust. There is no trust. Where's the trust? 100 years. 100 years. We lost, my mom. How many of your guys' parents? This just makes me weak that I gotta come over here, especially when the department cancels their meeting because of some weather channel delay, right? And nothing comes, but something great comes out of this kind of conversation. And because of this video, I'm so happy that the state of Hawaii are kind of acting their fiduciary duties out right now to fulfill this obligation. This obligation, Senator Kahele, as a beneficiary, I appreciate you guys coming down this far. And I think we need Governor Ige here because on the gubernatorial candidate, he says, accelerate. Tupola guys say 2 years we get him on. Wendell from Paneava, he can beat her in 1 year. He put all of us on. So where these guys at? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to say. 203 acres, and I gotta stand up here because I gotta look at all these guys in the face, right? All these guys in the face who plotted against all the waitlisters and not trying to help. But that's okay. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the department and this breach of trust that's been going on far too long. And I hope you guys can get the governor involved because just like Uncle Sonny, Kaikinui, everybody down the line, we're ready to get arrested. And this data is on behalf of the whole state. How much people go up there? How much doo-doo coming off that mountain on down to Hawaiian homelands? Just like the Sept over here. The thing connect our Ahupua'a right down the line. But nobody talks about that. And then when I come up with the data, because the data is the proper information that you guys run off, then all of a sudden it's illegal. That's what I'm trying to say. Where's the accountability? We can do the accounting for free. We did the evaluation. We're serving almost $500,000 worth of just Kanaka time doing data and all these things, helping community members. And all we want is community pastoral, which is provided in the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act, and only Moloka'i's got it. And that's the bottom line. All these people need to be fired on the spot. All they have to do is have to give back their paychecks already. Because if we're not getting on, nobody needs to get paid. This is one of the only two obligations the state had. And I don't know what to say about 100 years. Mahalo for you guys' time. Sorry about everything.
This is good. And everyone in this room who's frustrated, and I'm sure is frustrated, has every right to vent, feel the way you do. I just want to emphasize that you have policy leaders here that are as, vested as being here tonight as you are. And so what would really help us is your problem. Specific, whether it's commercial leases or non-Hawaiians leasing land in Waimea, or I cannot get on my land in Makuu, or what's up with these revocable permits that are now right of entries? How much money is being generated by commercial leases, or non-Hawaiians leasing DHHL lands. That's the stuff I want to hear. Because I'm with you as far as this is hell and there's a lot to be fixed. Anyway.
Hello everybody, my name is Ed Miranda. I'm a homesteader down in Nahalea. And I want to thank the Senator, Representative Joy and Leroy, and Brother Shibashi over there for being over here. Well, I think we got from the movie that we saw over here, and there was one key word that caught my eye. Number one, they're not rational about this whole thing. You know, they're not rational. The other one is neglect. You know, for 30-something years or more, actually. See, I'm trying to remember when I was here, my first days on board, like, in regards to this situation. But, you know, obviously, we had hoped for better. And, you know, I got to ask a question, and I hope you guys can research into this, okay? And take a good eye about this one. Because I'm a beneficiary, and Brother Ball is a trustee, and I'm not pointing out anything about it. But I want to say that if I'm a beneficiary, and these guys are my trustees, though, is there any way I can change my trustee? Because, you know, if I wasn't a bank, and I put all my money over there, and I invested out and had a trustee, then why can't I change my trustee like changing a bank? That's very simple, but, you know, they just want to make it complicated for us. You know, all these years like that. I mean, you know, if you want to fix your car, that car got to be broken. So if we've been hearing these problems all year, that means the process of where about doing it is broken. So, you know, I'm going to fix them. If not, you know, the only other way, and I've always wanted it, is to revamp Hawaiian homes. You know, we got to take them out of the play right now, leave them off the side, and then put back some real people in there to sort of, and say like, okay, give us a trial date and see who gets more done. Because, you know, obviously, the ones up here is just keeping us down here. You know, and you know, every year, you know, I mean, we've had them already. We've had plenty of politicians come over here like that, all the way down. What is our latest one? Tosi came over here, never heard from him yet. So why, you know, that's you know, we're going to get only more frustrated and stuff like that. But, you know, we got to just come up, the people first, and tell them, come right to the commissioners, hand over that paper that says, we dissolve you guys. That is it. We recognize that. We do not recognize you if we dissolve them. And then that has to bring those guys back to the picture because the state will never give in to this. They'll never try to get outside. They want to take everything. Everybody's assimilating to another culture. You know? I'm sorry, but you know, my visions when I was growing up had nothing to do with computers, nothing to do with all this highlight stuff like that. It was just about the sea, the land, because that's where we all needed to get food. You know, we never think about playing with computers, you know. But you know, all these kids like that, because our kids, they're not going to even know our culture, live our culture, because they're only going to read them in a book one day. And you know, when you get down to it, you gotta read your own culture. Then you know, there is no culture, only in the books. So I hope everybody, you know, take it seriously and tell these county commissioners or whatever governors, tell them, you know what? Either do something or you're out of there, and we're gonna absolve you. I don't care if other people voted you in, but we will not recognize you already. And that's the way it should be. Research that thing on how to change our trustees like we do a bank. Okay? Thank you.
Aloha Kalania Kia, Wilson, PhD candidate, working at Keaukaha. School got covered with lava this past year. Over 25 families lost their homes. Teachers lost their homes. So it was a crisis situation. We just moved the high school through Boys and Girls Club. 50% been waiting on a list 20 years. My auntie don't die. She's been waiting on the list for 60 years. She's 82 and she never got anything. So I know pula pula, it doesn't mean home ownership. Yeah? Just ho manali ka o lelo ko ka kupuna aina ho pula pula. Yeah? So pono kako e hana ika aina. Gotta work the land, guys. 50%ers, let's go. The next work date, I think, is in a month up at Humu'ula. So I invite all 50%ers to come and work on Humu'ula lands so we can start exercising our rights as 50%ers as prescribed in the 1920 Hawaiian Homes Commission Act, which was approved in Congress. All other changes and anything after that is all illegal stuff because it wasn't approved in Congress, from my understanding. Please double check on that, Mr. Kahele. Our next meeting is next week, Monday, for the 50% Hawaiian Nation. That's at the DHHL meeting. So please, everybody come to the next DHHL meeting next week so that we can administer our rights on the 200,000 acres. And let's start off with the airport first. Yeah, because like my brother said, where's the money that the land's taking in? If the thing is over 25 million, I want that number. I don't like the less number. You know what I mean? Well, the other solution is, so really what we're looking at, 1893 illegal virtual genocide, Organic Act, Union's Resolution 1898, political genocide, 1909 removing Queen's Healthcare Act, that's biological genocide, 1920 Hawaiian Homes Commission Act, Kuhio Legacy, Idaho, Pula Pula, 100 years is coming in 2 years. I go be shamed if I was with Kupuna kind of, you know, because we never get everybody on the land. We got to get them on the land now. 44,000 on the list on the land now. And we shouldn't even be waiting for DHHL, because all DHHL does, from my experience, talking with them, working with them, it's all illegal. And they're all liars. We get one liar in this room right here. And he worked for DHHL. Shame. So after we pull up Haleokuhi or Mauna Kea, because everybody not doing their job. UH not doing their job. DHHL not doing their job. DLNR not doing their job. We go, Hawaiians, let's do their job. And you know what? Nobody getting paid. Yes. Only need workers. If you're ready for work, call me up. Because I get one project. No, I'm serious. I don't do nothing for free. No, I do everything for free. So I show Uncle this letter. I said, Uncle, your name could have been in his spot. State of Hawaii, Department of Hawaiian Homelands, dated July 23rd, 2018. Name, address, subject, illegal structure on Mauna Kea. You're talking about me and 1,000 other Hawaiians who donate their time, money, and resources. This is what DHHL does. Call me illegal. And I 50% been waiting 20 years. How can I be illegal on DHHL land? It says this, Dear Mr. Wilson, it has been brought to my attention that you are the owner of the illegal dwelling structure hosted on the Department of Hawaiian Homelands property on Mauna Kea. You're a problem. That's the problem. DHHL is calling me illegal for taking down numbers. Because all the tourists is going up there making doodle, making shishi, and nothing being clean. But I illegal. Because I count the numbers. And everybody making money off Mauna Kea except Hawaiians. That's not even funny, that's genocide. Just call it what it is. I inform you to remove your structure immediately. Should you fail to do so, the Department of Hawaiian Homelands will take measures permitted by law to remove the structure and confiscate the structure, and further trespassing actions will be taken against you. Sincerely, signed by this person.
Who is it?
DHHL.
Name the name.
You gotta read the name.
How can I be a criminal? It's the first restoration environmental project I've been on. I've been working in Kamehameha schools 10 years. I did projects on all the islands. We started restoration on Heiau, all over the place. The first one I do, I get called one criminal on DHHL land. I rather work Kamehameha schools land. To tell you the truth, if you can call me one criminal. Sorry, but I get excited. Auntie got me excited. Yeah, if you like work, I'm gonna have one sign-up sheet. Just write your name and your email, and let's start making roads. Let's start making house lots. And you know what? Whatever you get, build. 6 banks I went through for this lot. I got denied 6 times. Took me 2 years.
Kalania Kea.
Kalania Kupuna. Sorry.
No.
Get excited.
He was signed. Now he got to stand behind that claim. He will make claim that DHHL get jurisdiction in that item. So bring evidence that that claim, don't just presume. You're gonna make that claim and you're gonna sign, he's standing in honor, at least give him that much. But you gotta say, who is, oh, you're passing it out, even better. But
Thank
now,
you.
You have a point of contact now. Because somebody is saying, I'm making a claim, now we have to challenge him in the law. That's it.
So as far as that Ali Kuhil structure that has been there basically since Kuhil Day in March, I was surprised to find out, and we were there last Monday, when I drove by on, never looked like the structure I had seen for about 4 months. When I came down from the mountain, then I found out and realized that it was taken down 2 days ago, but had been rebuilt, not how it was before. But that's one of the questions I have, is the protocol in removing that structure. So,
What is the law? Kai, you gotta ask what is the law, bro?
so we're gonna find out, and that's something that you guys should bring up. Absolutely.
This is a
Next week.
criminal act. Now we should find out. That's extortion, that's intimidation, that's threatening.
Aloha mai. I'm going to bring everybody down a little bit from the mountain. Kai, I'd like to thank you for working on some of the legislative bills that are important to some of us that live here in Keaukaha. 2 things that we were promoting, trying to introduce last year. That was to have a East Hawaii water quality monitor person for the Department of Health, because we only have one Department of Health water quality person for the entire island. And he's stationed in Kona. So we were asking if we could have one here for East Hawaii. 2 was to have they submitted a resolution to be able to have at least a feasibility study for infrastructure for our sewage system. I don't know if any of you know this, but there was an act that had passed and become law that by 2050, everyone has to convert from cesspool to either a septic or the municipal system, which comes out where? Right out of Puipe. So with that increase, one of the questions we had, and this is something that I wanted to ask legislation since it was passed. You came up with, you're asking for a working group to discuss the problems that you're going to have. 4 problems: municipal access, and where is the doodle going to go? Where is the doodle going to come with the increase of the cesspool if it doesn't go into a septic system and has to come into the municipal system that we have now, which is faulty, aged, and is not working properly. So that is a question that I wanted to ask in legislation. Where is the doodle going to go? Is it going to come up to Pui Bay, and can our sewage system handle the increase? That was one legislative. The other that I'd like to bring up is, and hopefully the feasibility study that was a resolution becomes a bill this time around in 2019. And hopefully everybody can help support this discussion. The working group was going to be put together. You're going to be discussing the problems. $1 billion is the question about how much it's going to cost just for the cesspool conversion. Not even talking about the municipal access and what you would have to do to upgrade to handle all the sewage that's coming out of Pui Bay. So if that feasibility study can turn into a bill or an act and not a resolution this year, that would be great. The other question is the extension for the Kanoile Hua and the development on the Banyan. I'm a little concerned, and I'm not sure about all of you, but that would mean extending some of the toxic facilities that may be in the area that I feel, and some others feel, that need to have an environmental impact statement done. Is this going to happen to the TRI companies that have been allowed to be built next to our Hawaiian people in Keaukaha and Panaewa? Will they be required before they're allowed to have permits to extend for 40 years to do an EIS? Because they were not able, or they weren't required to do an EIS before they were put in before the 70s. We know that in 1978 is when our environmental impact statements were available. A lot of our facilities, like Helco, like all the gas storage companies here, were put in the early 60s, like our sewage pipes, without an environmental impact statement. Will they be doing one again? I was told we weren't able to ask them because they were grandfathered in, or it's usually done during the permitting process. Right, Sue? So my question is, will they be required to do an EIS, these toxic release inventory companies, before they're given an extension? That is my question. Okay? Mahalo nui. Thank you.
I believe the Department of Health was the agency to convene the working group, so I'll definitely follow up with them on that. And as far as the extension for the KIA, I'm not aware of any TRI companies that lease KIA properties. Which one?
They have a treatment center here into Ice Pond. They had to pay $4 million to clean, and the county absorbed that responsibility. So please take a look at that. HPM, even with Trudy, Street. Okay?
Okay, I'll follow up on that.
Okay, so how many of you guys use our coastline over here to go fish, feed your family, go play, whatever? 21! Holy cow! Right, most of you guys, or most of us. Did you know that there is a resolution or a bill or something going through the county to rezone from Banyan Drive all the way down to King's Landing into resort? So a lot of stuff has been up and wanted, but this one specifically deals with, for me, my home. Changing the rezoning to resort will make it easier for people to go ahead and buy up all the land and turn it into Airbnbs and vacation rentals and whatnot. If we finally forget people on the land, we also need to fight to not turn that into resort. If we're fighting to not raise the prices on our land, we gotta fight to get that bill squashed. Okay, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Your number again.
We have 25 minutes left.
Hello everyone, my name is Ron Kudani and I'm not a Hawaiian, but I'm married one and I have 3 heirs. Because this is a legislative information, I just thought that because they're legislative, I'm going to have a request from them. By the, I think the Admissions Act, DHL is required annually to provide you a report. And as far as I know, since 2014, that was the last report. In there, you'll find out who got the leases and how much they paid for it. And we brought up, somebody brought up Patrick Iona. He's the only Hawaiian that leases Hawaiian lands. And he pays about $30,000 a year. He's one of my members, so I know. And I just felt, gee, that's really unfair, because technically he owns the land and he pays what everybody else pays. So I feel for Hawaiians, they should have a big discount, if not free, because we're supposed to promote entrepreneurship, their self-sufficiency. So I really applaud him. Anyway, that's one of the things they have to provide you, but unless you folks put their feet to their fire, they're not doing it. Paula Ida, I've asked her twice. And Pat, remember I asked you, did she respond to you either? So here, I'm representing about 100 to 150 beneficiaries that live in my association, and she don't have the courtesy to respond to me, whether she can provide it or not, and that's a shame. Because one of the things that I wanted to see the report is a lot of the lands are coming due. Their 65-year leases are coming due in 2022, 23, 24. And I feel as these leases come due, the Hawaiians should be the first, they should have first rights to lease that land. Because I know about 2 or 3 Hawaiian business people that would like to lease that land. So that was my issue. A second issue that I had is I went to a workshop at the Hawaii Legal Defense Fund with Alan Murakami, and he said something interesting, that until we had these fundings for digital operations, the ANO, which is supposed to be funded by the legislature, is that correct? The legislature funds for the employees, the 200 employees, they're state workers. But because the legislators didn't apply that fund, they were taking the money out of the Hawaiian Income Trust Fund. Do you understand? They took money from your savings account. It shouldn't be a trust fund, it should be the Hawaiian savings account. They use that money to pay the employees at DHL. Your money pays for them, government workers. I think at that time we figured over $200 million. I feel that the Hawaiians should come together, band together, and sue the state for allowing that to happen. Take more money to run their operations. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Rob.
Yes. Where do we sign? I want to sign. My pen. Where? I want to sign.
That book. Doesn't that book show gratis inside?
Yeah.
Does it
So
show
what
gratis?
Ron is talking about, and it's on my iPad, but I would throw it up on a computer, but I don't have the internet here, is if you go to DHHL's website and you search for their annual report, or you just type in DHHL annual report, the most recent report that you can actually download and find is from 2014.
Yep.
That's a question I have
Yep.
for the commission and for the administration, is where is 15, 16, 17, those annual reports. But if you take the time to download the annual report from 2014, you can scroll through and read every single lease, that commercial lease that DHHL has extended. And just like Ron is talking about, yes, you can see how much Prince Kuhio Plaza and General Growth Properties is paying, or I Want a Car Sales. You can, every lease that DHHL has in Hilo, you can see. And you can see how much they're paying and when the lease term ends. And I was surprised when I looked at that list. There are a lot of businesses in Hawaii Island in Hilo, whether they are leased by non-Hawaiians or non-Hawaiians, that are commercial lessees. That's a great question for the commission for you guys next week. What are annual reports from 15, 16, and 17? Got about 25 minutes. Actually 20 minutes.
Hi everybody, my name is Susan Rostier. I was asked to ask a couple of questions, but some of them couldn't come. So, that's enough, loud enough.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you're going to answer these questions, but it's for our representatives. I understand that DHHL's water usage takes precedent over other state agencies' usage. Is that correct? Anybody know?
I don't know.
Okay, so.
We'll find out
School.
If you could put it in bigger context though, is it for residential or for agriculture?
So I'll get to the second question and then you'll know why, right? Okay, so was the agricultural lots planned for Onamwa? Onamua?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't okay. Okay, in the near future, has DHHL questioned the chair of GLNR for her approval of the permit for a private company to draw 21 million gallons of water per day from the Hakalau aquifer over the next 30 years? You know what project that is? Uhonua. Everybody knows Uhonua. You know what Uhonua is? Senator, do you know what Uhonua is? Okay. The GLNR recommended that an EIS be done by Uhunua's incinerator project, but they granted the permit anyway, prior to an EIS. And that was done under the emergency proclamation for Aidapuna. So when they shut down, the week that they shut down, PGB, boom, they didn't have to do the EIS, they approved it. And they get guys over there working, putting it together right now. I don't know how that works, but they did that. Okay, so will the amount of water usage, 21 million gallons a day, over 30 years, impact the Honolulu project? Will the water availability to homesteaders be impacted? And should the department be monitoring the use of resources that beneficiaries have first rights to?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. And I'm going to hopefully explain a very complex jurisdictional issue, but I'm willing to work with Kai and Senator Joy San Buenaventura.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and take notes.
Okay. So a well that's built would have to go through the Commission on Water Resource Management, which is a function of the Department of Land and Natural Resources. They have their own body that evaluates the drilling of a well and issues that well permit. There is a process for that, and it's under the function of Department of Land and Natural Resources. We can track that. I personally don't know where that well permit is right now, but we can look into it. As far as pumpage and the amount of water in the aquifer and what's being drawn out, I'm not an engineer, but they do have an analysis for that, and that would be found in the well drilling permit. And whether that water system is managed by a private water system, that would also be through that well permit process.
Can I tell you that they have the well up there already? That's why they wanted the project over there. The well comes with the property. So I don't know if there's going to be any drilling permit, because the well's there already. But the problem is, the priority is supposed to be with beneficiaries, not with this company that comes from up in the United States someplace and is over here to make money incinerating our rubbish. Which I don't think is a good idea anyway, where it is. But that's another subject. The water is the subject tonight, and the water should be the subject all the time. Number one. Because if they're taking 20, that many gallons a day, what's left?
Yes, so we can check on that with the Commission on Water Resource Management and see how that water is being drawn out.
We have about 10 more minutes. How about somebody in the back? Right in the back? I'll call somebody else.
Wait, keep going.
May need some audience participation in this.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. My name is about unexploded ordinances. I don't know how familiar you guys with that. There are things I haven't signed. I first refused to sign them at the lab. Then I was coerced, and under duress, I went inside the letter. You read? Okay. So the letter directs me. It's right here. The fire that I will blow up. So it make it more easy to read. Once I went inside the unexploded ordnance waiver, on top of that, it binds me to educate each and every person that comes into Maku, Popoke, Halona area by signing that document. Eh? You like know what's happening to leases since 1940s, since the World War. Right now in Waikoloa, you guys heard about Waikoloa, thousands of acres. Anytime that was divulged or made people aware, the fire. It wasn't for the fire and stuff was going to start blowing up, they wouldn't say anything. The only thing made them divulge again in Maku is because of the lava flow. Right? So June 27, 2014. So they forced to tell people because they know they're liable. When you sign this, they're telling you to indemnify them. The law says once you're knowledgeable, you're liable. You cannot claim ignorance. The other thing is, once you let the legislators and your representative know, by oath, under American Constitution, they must act to correct. Mahalo for this meeting. Right now, nobody can occupy, and there hasn't been assigning any lots in Maku, at least not transparently that I know of, because after that, they gotta make you sign this. When they were making me sign this, I walk around the neighborhood and ask anybody if they did. Nobody did. So I went to Oahu, took a bullet, and refused to sign them. And they need me out, told me, if you're gonna sign them, I'm not gonna get one lease. I went and signed that lease May 2017. They never give my lease. Before that, I was trying to get one exchange with a lot. You know, just so you guys know, I probably would die waiting for a leasehold. But mahalo Keaukaha, because actually a real connector up there. Pure. Somebody gave me the aina because they know I was going to use them. And they know that I will utilize the aina. So they say, you know what, Brana? If you still like them, I won't give them to you because I don't plan to go out there and do that. Especially not after all of that. And that's not one place that she likes to raise her future. So, knowing that this going on, how come the lease is still going? How come still get lands out there, still occupied, still not clean? They say $10 million for cleanup, and the thing not clean. Somebody should read this thing because it says they found little to none. Is that nothing? Aole? No, that raised my concern. So if you get something that the Corps of Engineers and all these technicians knowing about unexploded ordnances and they never clear them, and they're going to come back and have to clear them, and the department can sign them off, and they very need to sign them off, and then when they start educating people, then I get retaliated. I try to go and mitigate. I write to the chairman. When I write, I correspond. After, they know I correspond because when they correspond, I can be, you know what I mean? I can keep on writing, we can communicate. But when you get correspondence, you get just like this. Physical, hard evidence. Yeah? And talk them down. So if you look back, I went signed on 2017. After I went to the governor's office, they sent me back over there. I went go back and send me back over there. Boom! Lava flow bust out. Okay? I gotta move. Mandatory emergency evacuation. I was one of the first evacuees. Right? Okay, the other thing. Yeah, I hope I don't go too far. I'm trying to make this all in for you guys. Okay. So, mandatory emergency evacuation. Let's realize that that was on presidential declaration that was set on this state. You guys know what is military occupation? I hear guys say military occupation, military occupation. The guy Schofield came by the president, presidential declaration. That was military occupation. When he came into the subdivision and he said, you can only go in until 6 o'clock, you need a placard. What do you think that was? You was placed under martial law. All of these things happen. You're like, you know what? You're just talking about military occupation, martial law. Happened right there. Under those circumstances, people wasn't getting assigned lots since the 80s. I see the other guys gonna make transitional housing. The mayor went signed on declaration, the mayor. Federal, state, county. The county signed, boom. Health had no need this boom. No need permits. So I figure, well, what about the Kanakas? We get all these lots in Makuu, and the thing hasn't been assigned. And supposedly these guys say it's clear. Right? Okay? I work with the non-profit, I work with the Rotary of Hilo, and I work with the Rotary of Pahoa, because they like do something. They help me raise monies, and we was going to do transitional housing. I went to the department and I talked to the new person over there and asked them, what about this transitional housing? The empty lots. Let's get the people on the list, emergency evacuees, Hawaiian home trustees, waiting beneficiaries to be lessees. Let's accelerate the law. Let's use the military occupation, clean out all our unexploded ordinances. They're here. They get the governor also insane the National Guard. What? Here are the people, here are the forces, here are the technical forces. Here are the permits all waived. And the county can do them, how come I went home no can do them? So when I did that and I went over for see them, boom, I'm talking to them, they take it upon my house. Yeah, just come take up on my house. Nahaza, you guys only get one deal. You gotta be below poverty level. Yeah? One house a year. One house a year with a contract from HCC. I went and I asked them. I talked to the Nahaza people and I talked to the USDA. Not for myself, for us. As Hawaiians, not Hawaiians. They never do nothing. 100 days went by. The country should have made one plan. They never do nothing for come talk to us. Nothing. They still there. Exclusively their plan. Where they plan? Where they plan? And have pre-aggregate. And all the contraction people gonna give it aloha. Aloha, sorry, it's a soft word, eh? They was gonna be giving of themselves. Service above self. And that's what I was trying to prove. Service above self. But that's what how punishment. No good deed goes unpunished. Documented. Yeah, what you guys gonna do? That's retaliation. Yeah, God. And is the Hawaiian homes above the law? What law? American Constitution. If they're not, then they're not the state of Hawaii. If they're not the state of Hawaii, they don't follow the American Constitution, they are breaking the law. Your civil rights is being violated. My civil rights have been violated. Let's go to the United States and let's find out who supersedes who. The Supreme Court is who? Who did you guys give you guys oath to? Who did you give your oath to? I gave time. I didn't volunteer for state boards. I gave time. I gave the oath and I followed that, the oath. I followed the oath. Even though it wasn't what I wanted, I followed the oath. Because why? Because that was the rules, because that was the law. Not somebody make one rule, home rule, implement them on us. And that's not the law. Let's follow the law. And let's educate us, legislators, educate yourself. If you are now bounded to act. And that's what this public forum is. That's why I'm here. And you like evidence? I get evidence. Everything right there. They like testimony? Have my testimony. Like testimony? Come to my place. Just do it and take it up at my house. Still going. See me? registered mail. They don't like giving anything in writing because then I can respond. Here's my response. They're taking apart my house. My house worth almost $300,000. The small house they like build with HCC, that you can only build one with the house the funds, over $120,000. Not even 700 something square feet. And that's my house. Yeah, that's my house on top Hawaiian Homes property. They talk about the premises. Okay, I'm asking for swap my lot because they're my house. It's not their house. No, they keep on going 1 year. Look at the date. And then they guys can conveniently lose documents. When government agency can lose documents and forge documents as they will and will. You like here? Yeah, I'm telling you straight. You see, I got teachers inside and everything. You come my house, you stop them today, and you make sure we can follow the due process. Nobody accuse anybody unless you go to the judiciary. These guys, judge, jury, and everything. That's what's happening here.
Mahalo. Representative Buenaventura is the area legislator. The UXO issue that exists in Maku'u, that exists in Waikoloa, that's a big issue with the HHL, and that's something else that we're going to work on. Mahalo. I think we have time for one more.
Hello, Waikato. My name is Makala Rollins. I am a beneficiary from Keaukaha Farmers Association. I just recently went through the subdivision process, and it's, much like how this Manakala is saying, I've gone through the experiences where the HHL has lots of paperwork. We have had to go through a process which has taken almost 3 years now to subdivide and get a lease, and it was at no cost to the HHL. We assumed all the infrastructure improvements, surveying, going through both county as well as the HHL approval processes, and yet the process was still a very lengthy one. And I think for you guys, in terms of holding office, how you guys could help is to probably better inform I think what would be best for you guys is to find a way to educate the administration as well as the employees as their fiduciary duty to beneficiaries, VCs, and people on the wait list, because many times when I would go in there representing on behalf of my mother who had the lease, I was told that I don't have a lease, therefore I'm not really a beneficiary. And so I think for you guys at the office level, having the administration know what their fiduciary duty is to beneficiaries like Manakala. They have a special trust. It's a special trust obligation. It's not like any other city and county position. You're held to a higher standard. I believe there's case law to that as well. And so what I would urge you guys is to please advocate on the beneficiary's behalf as to the process, because like Anakala was saying, they pick and choose what process they want to go through. You want to go through a federal process, you can go through a federal process, go through the county process, go through the county process. But I think they need to be held accountable to their own processes. And so if you guys could help them be that watchdog, I would greatly appreciate that. Mahalo nui.